All right, what's up, guys? It is Anti Meta Doom, and today we are going to go over some recent game news that just went down today on October 1st, 2025. So, a few things have happened. Xbox has increased the Game Pass prices. As you can see here on the screen, BioWare employees are thinking that their time with the company is up. It's over because of the new buyout. And then Ubisoft is opening a new studio that's gonna primarily focus on one of my favorite games, Rainbow Six Siege. So a lot to talk about here today, guys. So let's go ahead, let's jump right into it. First, we're gonna talk about the Bioware employees. So the first thing I want to say about this is BioWare. I care about this because BioWare is one of my favorite companies within EA, and the reason for that is because they are the ones who make Mass Effect. And Mass Effect 3 was one of my favorite games ever. After I played Mass Effect 3, I went and replayed the trilogy because that was my first time experiencing those as well. So great story. I really love that series. So I'm a little spooked right here about this article. So let's jump in and let's read over this here. So EA went private in a Saudi-backed deal for $55 billion earlier this week. Right? So what's worrying about this deal is staff at BioWare. They are saying that they are potentially going to be let go. So, as you can see, a quote right here, it says, "I've been doing it since last year, but I'm making sure I have a portfolio ready and feelers out for other jobs. It kind of feels like a matter of time before things turn dark for the studio." Mm. Now, that's concerning. One, because what effect does that have on the games that I like, and two, it's concerning because those employees are going to be let go, and you never want to see anybody losing their jobs. So that's always something that kind of sucks in these type of situations. So again, we have another staff member here. He says, "Look at the negativity that came after Dragon Age: The Veilguard. If we felt it was only going to get worse then, you can imagine what some of us think now. BioWare has hit by left. BioWare was hit by layoffs in the wake of the Veilguard release, with EA Suits declaring the game was down nearly 50% from the company's expectations." So, I had a little playthrough of Veilguard, and I enjoyed it. But that was also my first foray into the Dragon Age series. So I didn't really have a lot to compare it to. But from the online discourse that I've seen, that people they hated Veilguard and took a lot of opportunities to take a shit on it. So I mean, I don't think it was the greatest game. I'm probably like 10 hours in. But I also didn't think it was the worst game. I like some of the story beats. You are able to choose your own, essentials. You choose your actions. So you altered the story. I really do plan on getting back in there and playing it and finishing it. But I didn't think it was, it was that bad. But apparently people hated it, and it was down 50%, 50% from expectations. So Inside Gamer talks were underway at some point to sell BioWare off complete entirely. Mmm. Wow. Didn't even know that. Talks were underway at some point to sell BioWare off entirely. Wow. I wonder what a studio like BioWare would go for. I'd be interested to know that, what those conversations look like. So, with BioWare in the doldrums, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, Joshua Wolens? What the fuck is this? And the take private deal anticipated to close in Q1 of fiscal year 2027, it feels like the studio's future is either a quick sale or a complete closure. Mm, mm. Per one anonymous Bioware dev, we're going to keep working until they tell us we're done. It's not the healthiest way to live, but as long as the paychecks keep coming, we're not going to just walk away. That's the wow. So he's kind of like, dude, like this shit's pretty much over with, and we have to do what we need to do to kind of make sure things are good. That's a pretty toxic work environment. I'm gonna be honest, but like he says, you pretty much have to do what you have to do. If they keep paying you shit, you have to go to work every day, and you can do a silent quit. If you're familiar with what that is, a silent quit. That's always good. But yeah, so again, guys, this is really concerning for me because they're talking about selling off BioWare or just completely closing it. You have employees that are really not happy with the state of their employment at the company, at the studio. So that's like morale. That's a lot of stuff that you have to take into consideration. So um things are looking dim at BioWare. Things are looking dim at BioWare. um and one other thing that I wrote down that I did want to kind of talk about was it's a Saudi backed deal, and culturally, Saudi Arabia is it's a little different from other places in the world. So I'm thinking, one thing that came to my mind was just, you know, how is that gonna go with the vast amount of games that they release? Is that gonna be some type of I don't even want to say issue, but is it gonna be some type of pressure point for the studio and essentially the owners or the new owners on what can go in some games, what can't? There's sex scenes in Mass Effect. In a lot of the games, you can romance people in some of these EA games. I think you can in Veilguard. You 100% can in every single Mass Effect game. I did it. so, um, so it's very. I'm interested to see what that looks like. If that even plays a role. Hopefully, it doesn't even play a role, and I'm just kind of overthinking it. So, another thing I wanted to talk about with this whole buyout situation is, you know, in these type of situations, you get more resources, right? If they are going to be putting this type of money into buying EA, they obviously are looking to make that money back. So, in order to make money, you have to spend money. So I'm interested to see, if there will be more support on these games. Will there be more studios working on titles? Will they go to different engines? It's like fuck it, we can do whatever we want to do now. Break out the Unreal. So very interested in this. Very interested in what the state of BioWare is because again, big Mass Effect fan, and I want to see that franchise thrive again. Man, I love that multiplayer. I absolutely loved it. So that is the buyout with I'm sorry, that is the BioWare. BioWare employees, they're thinking about getting fired. EA has completed their buyout.